so many of my friends buy houses, and they were always saying, geez, you should be a realtor. You're really good at this, and you're doing the research, and I would help them, give them advice on contracts. I did a lot of contract work in my corporate career, so I was very familiar with contracts. And I would assist them with negotiations and that sort of thing. And they kept saying, you should be a real estate agent, and I always loved helping them. And I decided to start doing it on a part-time basis. I was working at Priceline.com.
Really?
And yeah, Priceline.com full-time. I was working crazy hours, like 70 hours a week. And on a part-time basis, you'll get a kick out of this. On a part-time basis, on the weekends, I worked the call desk, the reception desk for walk-ins and people calling in. And all these leads that were coming in, my broker never said to me that I could work the leads, I could have the leads. So all the realtors in the office would wanna work on Saturdays and Sundays when I was there, because I'd say, hey, Brett, do you wanna take this lead? They wanna buy a $500,000 house. And you'd be like, yeah, I'll take it. And I would just like give away all the leads. Never asked for a referral or anything. I didn't know anything. I was stupid. And so everybody loved it when I worked on the weekends. So, but I got a taste for it, loved it even more. And when I got laid off from Chico's, years later, I was working down here at Chico's for almost 11 years. And I got laid off, and I had a real estate license that was being held, inactive for me. And I said, I guess I'm gonna have to really buckle down, because there were no corporate jobs for human resource management people. And absolutely loved it, and I wish I had done it sooner.
So, everybody says, I wish I would have done it sooner.
Yes,
right?
yes.
70 hours a week is it's a lot of work, so instead you just do that in real estate.
Right, exactly. That's right.
Apparently we should be recruiting more out of Chico's.
Yes. Well, and we've got some great people. Jessica Steinberg, there's a whole bunch of people from Chico's that are
You
here.
were at Chico's, weren't you? No, you were just Baker.
Lisa Wagner on my team was from Chico's also.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's quite a few faces that I see at the office, so it's a great place to recruit.
So Chico's is a great filler for us. So.
It is, it is.
Okay, so tell me, when you got into real estate, you'd already been dabbling, not licensed, and then you got into real estate. How long did it take you to kind of get your business up and running?
It was instantaneous, like I couldn't believe it. All of a sudden, those people that I had been helping them find homes for many years, I started to network with them. I was a very big networker, and would call them up and say, hey, I'm in real estate now, do you know anybody? Can you have them contact me? And all of a sudden my phone was ringing like crazy, and I got tons of leads, tons of business. When I was a single agent, my best month, I closed 22 deals in 1 month.
Whoa.
Just me by myself. And I was exhausted. I was working with buyers and sellers in London. So I was getting up at like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning to have conference calls with my British lead that I had gotten. And she had a whole bunch of people that were buying properties. I was writing tons of contracts. And that's where I got the idea to start a team, because I just couldn't handle it all. And I had certain standards that I wanted maintained. And my broker at the time, and I'm so glad that I came here, I had worked at Coldwell Banker, and she kept, pushing me to not start a team. And she said, just give the business to everybody that's in the office. And I said, well, I could do that, but I have certain standards I want to maintain. And she said, well, you don't have to worry about that. Just give it to them. They know what they're doing. And I said, no, I want my standards to be maintained. And so I started my own team. and that's where my leads all went to, so with my certain standards in place.
So today, so back then, it was all coming from networking and all that. Today, is that still where all your business is coming from?
Oh, I get calls all the time from people that I've been working with for, that I sold them something 15, 18 years ago. So I stay in touch with my old database from my past company. And then something that I do that, and I don't know if anybody else is doing this, but whenever I travel anywhere, I always visit real estate offices where I'm going. You can write off your trip by doing that. So if I just came back from Switzerland, I was in Switzerland for 2 weeks. The only real estate brokerage that I came across was in Engels and Volker. And I went into that office, I had a bunch of business cards with me, I networked with them, and the interesting thing about what they do in Switzerland is every guy is in a 3-piece suit. Every girl is in an expensive dress or a suit. And I felt woefully underdressed when I walked through the door. And it's just a different standard in Switzerland for real estate. But I always take cards with me, I take flyers with me, and you want to establish that rapport with them, so hopefully they'll send you business, right? So that's what it's all about, is networking.
That's awesome. So where else besides Switzerland have you done your networking?
Spain,
Okay.
New York City, I've done a lot. I used to fly up to New York. I haven't done this in several years, but I still visit real estate offices up there. And in Connecticut, I used to attend real estate shows, and I would book a room, usually like the Waldorf Astoria used to host those types of functions, and I would book a room, and people would come in and listen to me talk about real estate that I had available at that time in Connecticut, and it was very lucrative for me. And when I came to Florida, it really helped me to jumpstart my business, because a lot of those people were looking for second homes. It's just the perfect marriage to get additional business.
So networking is huge. So, and we say this all the time, and I repeat this same quote all the time, but Cody Gibson has said over and over, if you're sitting in your home, nobody will walk through your front door and say, will you sell me a house? He goes, you have to be in the way for it to happen. So, have people walked in this door in this office? Yes. And we look around and see who's in the office.
Yeah.
But we already go to listings or leads, so if they did come in asking for 123 Main Street's agent, we will go find 123 Main Street's agent. But otherwise, if they just walk in, I know Stephanie Coleman was here one day, she's the only person in the whole office, and I'm like, guess what? They wanna buy a $500,000 house, so come on, come talk to them, do you have time? And she goes, okay. So, remarkably though, I've been turned down by some of you, and I said, I have a lead, and they're like, I'm too busy. I'm like, okay, well, I'll go find someone else. So it's good that you guys are busy. Okay, so we've got traveling around, we've got networking. Where did your last transaction come from?
Oh, that is through a builder that I've been representing now for going on 7 years. And that is a $6.8 million listing in Naples that I got under contract in 21 days.
That's remarkable.
Yes, yeah, so that'll be a fabulous payday. I'm super excited about that. And, so that's where I got that one from. And I'm hoping to get additional business, and so I have a marketing person on my team who does a lot of social media. And so she's taking that listing and pushing it all over the place, and I'm trying to get some additional business in Naples also for myself and my team.
So is the majority of the business that you're generating now coming from some of your new construction listings?
I wouldn't say the majority, I would say that the majority of my business is coming from networking. It's coming from friendly conversations. I think it's really important, and I try to impress this on my team. You all have great personalities, I know you do, but sometimes we don't show it. We're a little bit guarded, we're a little bit worried about being ourselves maybe, and we think we have to be buttoned up.
Kirsten has that problem.
So I think it's really important to make the other agent laugh, to make the other, make your client laugh. I think it's really important to disarm them because they may come on as being serious. And I think if you're positive about where you live in your area, I think that just goes miles and miles for helping you to establish a rapport with those individuals, and they're gonna feel much more comfortable with you. So one of the things that I started with when I started working in real estate is learn about palm trees. I know this sounds crazy, but and there's other things you can talk about too. But when I would go out with a customer, I would say, did you know that palm trees are really prehistoric grass? And they'd be like, what? And like they were just, they didn't expect me to say that. And then I'd say, yeah, that's a queen palm, and that one you have to cut the fronds, but that one over there is a royal palm, and they're self-cleaning, and you have a coconut palm over there. They would just be gaga over just those simple things, and they didn't know that there was more than one type of palm tree. They never really looked and paid attention, but they've been vacationing here for decades, but they never thought about a palm tree. So I was talking to one of my past customers, I sold them something like 15 years ago, and they said to me, we saw a royal palm the other day, and I was like, oh my God, she remembers that I told her about royal palms. And you talk about McGregor Boulevard, lined with royal palm trees, people love that. And you're educating them about the area and your enthusiasm for the area as well.
Well, and I think a lot of you represent people that don't live where there's palm trees. So
Right.
they're like, I do wanna live in a house
They're
that has
excited
palm
about
trees,
that.
So,
Exactly.
all right, so tell us maybe the best experience you ever had with a client. One that's like the most memorable that you'll never forget helping this person.
So that would be Ted. I'll leave his last name out for confidentiality reasons. But several people on my team would know who I'm talking about. Super nice person. This guy got involved with buying lots in Bokeelia after he had bought and sold like 7 houses with me. I probably did over $3-4 million in business with him with houses. Then he started buying in Bokeelia. Now Bokeelia is not really close, but that's okay. I have a big territory, so I'll drive just about anywhere. And he would buy lots out there, and he would buy them for $11,000-12,000 and would flip them. So I was buying and flipping lots for him and selling those lots at like $27,000 after he only paid $11,000 for them. And I did that for him 20 times. I mean, that's a pretty penny, but it made me happy that he was really helping his portfolio. He was diversifying. He had this idea, and it was very lucrative for him. I think in the end, he picked up like an extra $175,000. And I was happy to be a part of that with him. Super nice guy. When I had my heart attack, he had had a heart attack the year before. So we had that in common, that we had both had open heart surgery. Great guy. So that's my best, I would say that's my best customer that I've had.
So is there ever a moment where you said I should just get out of here?
No.
I'm done.
No, there hasn't been. In fact, several of my team members, I've said to them, I hope I'm working for you one day. So I'll like step back, but I won't step back completely because I'm having too much fun, and this is just a great profession, it's a noble profession, and I love being knowledgeable about what's happening in real estate. And I have a personal reason that if I have a few minutes, I will share.
Okay, yeah.
When I was a little girl, my father was Puerto Rican, and he was the first, so far as I know, he was the first Puerto Rican that bought a house in Fairfield, Connecticut, which is a very snobby town, okay? And it's not far from Greenwich, Connecticut, and Westport, Connecticut. So we grew up in Fairfield, and my father wanted us to go to the best schools. He worked 3 jobs, and there was a real estate agent that helped my parents buy their first house. And the realtor, she was at the closing, and my parents had literally pulled everything together that they could, and they were short like $200. They couldn't close over $200. And this realtor took the money out of her pocket and gave it to the closing agent at that time. I was just a little girl, so I got this from my mom, the story. And that realtor, my mom just loved her, and all the rest of that realtor's life, my mom always sent a Christmas card and a Christmas gift to her to say thank you for helping us with our first house. So when my mom told me that story, sorry,
Okay.
it's so personal. When my mom told me that story, and it was very powerful. So to become a real estate agent was really just it's such a respectful, wonderful business to be in. And so I impress upon my team, no matter what the price is of the lot or of the house, I want everybody treated exactly the same way, because they're all important, every single one of them. And even those lots can turn into house sales at some point, or they're gonna build, and you can get a referral from a builder also. But I just want the same level of respect for every customer out there, because that's somebody's mom and dad maybe struggling to buy their first property, so.
Well, and you never know who they know.
Well, that's true.
Like my parents bought my parents bought a $300,000 condo, and an agent kinda like dumped them, it wasn't enough for Naples. And then, my aunt and uncle bought a $1.5 million house, so that same agent got my mom's referral and my aunt's referral. So,
Yeah.
you know, you don't know who people know, and like
That's right.
who you could get business from, so
Yes.
not everybody, just because they live in a trailer, not everybody they know lives in a trailer.
That's right.
So-
And even if they live in a trailer, that's fine.
Mhm.
Sell them a trailer, you know, it's okay. It's just doing the right thing. If you do the right thing, all the other things will come your way.
And they will respect you for it.
Yes. And you'll respect yourself too.
Yeah.
You'll just feel better about what you do every day when you get up.
So is there one thing that when you moved to Keller Williams that you took away that has really impacted your career by coming to Keller Williams?
Oh, I would say it's the leadership support other than So I would say it's working with the leadership team. Mark Olish has been amazing, and Katie and Matt and everybody that I've worked with. It's also the teams, you know, it's Jessica and Aaron and Brett, and it's everybody. It's the Hawley Group, it's everybody who's here, Dave. Everybody's been wonderful to work with. When I worked at Coldwell Banker, we were the only team. So they used to have a team award. Well, I was the only one that kept winning it. There were no other teams. So every month, if you walked into the lobby there, it was always the Laurie Johnstone Group that was posted up there with my team members. There were no other teams because our broker there discouraged teams. I think that there is a place for teams to help support and grow others on the team, because we all have strengths and weaknesses. And so if somebody is too shy, then I can step in and help push something through for them. If somebody doesn't understand a contract, I can step in and help push that transaction through and, facilitate for them. So, I think that the support that I've gotten as a team leader for my team, has just been over the top amazing, and I would never work anywhere else. I'm sure all of you get phone calls all the time. I would never go anywhere else. I tell everybody, every other broker who calls me, that I'm very happy where I am and I will never leave.
Do you ask them if they want to come over here?
Usually it's the brokers calling me, and they don't wanna make that move. But if I ever have a realtor that calls, absolutely, I try to get them for you.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
Yes.
Does anybody have a question they wanna ask Laurie? You've got 20 years in the industry, what do you wanna ask her?
And I started in Connecticut.
Stacy's got a question.
Hi. I was wondering, beyond the relationships that you've built in like your sphere, is there an area that you focus on getting referrals from, like a third party or agent referrals, or what does you and your team focus on for that?
So I've been blessed, and I think that working at Keller Williams has made a huge difference. I tend to get a lot of phone calls from people who wanna give me a referral. So I haven't had to go out and beat the bushes a whole lot, but then again, when I go traveling, I am passing out my card to a lot of these people. And it might be a year, it might be 2 years before I hear anything back from them, but it usually does come around. So, and I probably travel and give out cards and make little presentations at their staff meetings when I can. I probably do that about 4 or 5 times a year. And then other than that, I'm kind of out there on the internet with my listings, and agents find me and call me up, and that's business that I get that I haven't solicited, but they find me. So, yeah.
We're over 150,000 agents strong in our
The
company.
referral network is
So-
wonderful here. They make it so easy for you. And so, sometime maybe just take a couple hours. I sometimes do it just sitting on my couch, and I'll like send out a referral connection. And every now and then something comes back from that, but that's paid off tremendously. This Keller Williams is the place to be, for
Thank
sure.
you.
Yeah.
If you take it like she's doing and going to these offices, I've been coaching agents that are trying to like connect, and I have an agent that I coach in Tennessee, and she's trying to connect with an agent in Georgia because she gets Georgia business, and she wants to be able to send business back and forth, and they send a lot between these 2 areas. So she just started sending like bagels and cookies and stuff like that to the office, and having her stuff, like sending her cards there and asking the front desk person if they'll put out her cards with those things, and she gets referrals because she's the person that feeds them in that office. One day she supplied lunch for a team meeting. She just said, "Can I be the supplier of the lunch for the team meeting?" And she went in there and met a bunch of them at the team meeting and fed them lunch. So if you really think outside the box, you can make a connection so that you're memorable, so that maybe they don't have a referral today, but they will remember you in the future.
Yeah, as long as they hold on to your card, at some point, that's going to come back to you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Anybody else have a question for Laurie? Thank you for sharing.
Thank you, everybody.